Live from the Big G's Pizza Studio on Clark Street, this is 5 Songs with Friends, Chicago's music discovery podcast. The Hunting Birds are an Australian folk rock outfit. They blend heartfelt, I can't talk right now, but I'm trying, heartfelt songwriting with exhilarating rock energy. Their infectious, earwormed works and incredibly cohesive live performances have made them a must-see act for the last few years. Here they are. I have on the phone today Connor from the band Hunting Birds. Connor, how you doing, man?
Good, mate. How you going?
Oh, so good. I kind of butchered that intro, but you know what? We're going to power through that because that's what we do on the show.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Nah, did great.
Oh, well, hey, thanks for building me up. That's why I love Australians. You guys are always so, you're so patient with us Americans. And so I appreciate it.
No, it's all good, mate.
So tell me a little about, what's the band about? How did you guys get started making music?
So we met, Kendra and I met, my other singer-songwriter in the band. We met at university studying music here in Perth, and we kind of just took a liking to each other's musical taste, and of course that kind of just leads to wanting to write music together. And our mate Chris and Brad and Gwyneth have kind of just joined us over time, and now it's this little family that we have ourselves, and it's a good old time just playing music together. And getting to play around the country is really an honorable thing that we've been so lucky to be able to do so far. So playing music is the dream, it's the life. So that's kind of what we've been doing for the past few years, which is really cool.
I love it. That's awesome, man. Well, so I got to ask, because this is in your bio. I didn't read the full thing, but you did mention that you've played, alongside acts like the Lumineers, Gavin James, and the first band that I have ever seen live, Hanson. So, dude, you've played with the Hanson brothers before.
We have played with the Hanson brothers. They came to West Australia, which was a really strange thing that popped up. It was kind of just like, oh, hey guys, like, you want to play with Hanson? And we were just kind of like, sure, that sounds great. And they're lovely dudes. I mean, we spoke to Isaac backstage, and he was super supportive and super lovely. But nothing, people might, there's a bit of, whatever it is about Hanson and the Umbop life, but I can say nothing bad about the blokes. They're lovely, and they put on a great show, and they're really hardworking guys. Like, for what they do for their fan base, it's actually pretty incredible.
Yeah, and I mean, dude, their vocal harmonies are actually pretty stellar. I mean, just being what it is. So I actually got dragged to a Hanson concert when I was like 4 years old, because my sister is the biggest Hanson fan on the face of the earth. So that was the first concert I ever went to at age 4, was Hanson in Chicago, Illinois. So I have a little bit of a connection there. So we will bond over Hanson for the rest of our lives, Connor.
That sounds amazing.
Wonderful. So, dude, tell me a little bit more about Hunting Birds, though. Where do some of these influences come into? Like, what are some of the inputs for your sound?
So, I mean, like, we've just been kind of I'm really into American music. I've always been into, North American music anyway. Bob Dylan, Paul Simon, Neil Young, just the classic singer-songwriters, James Taylor, all that kind of really honest, really raw kind of songwriting. And Kendra's been in love with Chris Isaac and the Dixie Chicks and stuff like that. So it's been a bit of a mixture. And I mean, like, nowadays, Brandy Carlisle and bands like Drew Holcomb and the Neighbors and acts like that are running around your amazing country, doing beautiful things like in this realm. So yeah, a lot of inspiration comes from American music, but of course, European, you've got your Mumford and Sons and such as well, which sounds fairly American, to be fair. but yeah, that kind of stuff's always been kind of inspiring. But there's we've got like elements of Australian bands, I guess, that kind of runs through the veins when you're from that country. But I think it helps. I think it definitely helps forge a different kind of sound in that realm of music, having that Australian vein, like bloodline, coming through you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So when did you start playing guitar and like start writing songs all together?
So I mean, I think Kendra would have started writing songs when she was about the same age as me, 12 maybe. We started writing songs, but together we were 17. I think we met each other when we were 17. We just left high school, so we're 22 now. So we've been writing for a little bit. But we hadn't been playing gigs. We were just writing for a little bit and just kind of, enjoying that creative space for a while before we decided to actually do anything with it, which I thought was really nice. It was a nice way to kind of get a feel if this was, the right thing to be doing, or if it was just a fun thing to write with your friend, or now like my girlfriend and my partner. So it's pretty amazing.
Excellent, man. Well, so we have an amazing song here that is accompanied by a really fun music video that's very well done, and seems like it just was released a couple weeks ago. So can you tell me a little bit about the song Naive Eyes, and maybe a little bit about the music video as well?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I started writing Naive Eyes when I was about 16 years old. I was going through like a pretty rough time personally with some just, like rough breakup with first girlfriend, and my parents had split, and it was all very just a bit overwhelming for me at the time, and I was really, suffering with some mental stuff that I wasn't really prepared for. And this song kind of came out of me while I was around some of my best friends at like a high school camp, and it's kind of dark thing to have come out of me around friends, but it was really comforting having them there and expressing to them that I felt like there was a lot of demons yelling at me and telling me certain things. And I kind of wrote from that perspective, as if I was, looking at myself, hearing those things. And that's what this song's kind of about. And the music video, we worked with amazing director Peter, and he was all about that feeling of paralyzation and wanting to not being able to move. And a lot of that stuff comes out in those still images, and we have some still images, and certain things move, certain things don't, and it does feel very uncomfortable to watch sometimes, even though it is very pretty looking. So it's really great to be talking about the song and talking about the video, and hearing that people are enjoying it or finding it interesting, and that's all you could ever really ask for.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's extremely well done. I mean, your director that you just mentioned, did an incredible job putting it together. So I would encourage all of the listeners here to, do the extra work after the episode and go check out the music video for the song Naive Eyes on YouTube. It is well worth a watch. But for now, let's jump into it. This is a song called Naive Eyes by the Hunting Birds. So that was Naive Eyes by the Hunting Birds. How'd you guys come up to like with these like sick tuxedos and stuff? Did you like rent those, or did you just have those laying around? How does that work?
Oh, that's a good question. No, so we had a stylist named Luke, and he's a very nifty young man. Can get together some kits, some lovely things. We were wearing shirts that were very expensive. I didn't even find that out till way later, and if I'd known then, I would have been a little bit scared wearing them around. But yeah, he's amazing. He's been with all of these all the local fashion designers in Perth. So it was all extremely like locally sourced, which was also really amazing to help the the local community and local like creatives as well get their their things out there too.
Yeah. So what is the music scene like out there in Perth? Because I know, two of my favorite bands are from Perth, actually. One being obviously Tame Impala, the other being Carnival, if you know them. I think they're from Perth.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, they're fucking awesome. They wail. So like, what's the local scene like out there in Perth these days?
I mean, it's pretty eclectic. I mean, it's all over the shop. But we don't really sound like Tame Impala or Carnival, and
Yeah.
but like even speaking about Carnival, I mean, Ian Kenny, the lead singer of Carnival, plays in a band called Birds of Tokyo, which are
Right,
a
also awesome.
huge pop band in Australia, definitely very famous in Perth. So I mean, that exact example goes to show the kind of differentiation between the two. I mean, like those two bands couldn't sound any more different. So yeah, it's really great. I mean, like you get to go see a different show every week, and you never know what you're going to get. So it's pretty thriving. I mean, it's a little place. We all know each other.
Nice. I like that. So, well, you just alluded to the fact that you all know each other. You have some friends. Who were some of your favorite under the radar acts in the Perth community that people should be hearing about that maybe haven't yet?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, it's always changing. Some bands coming in and out. I mean, I watched a band called Butter like a couple of months ago. They're really sick. They've got this like I don't even know how to explain it. It always reminds me kind of like a neo jazz version of the Gorillaz, something like that. It's pretty sick. Not gonna lie. So they're ones to watch. I mean, Stella Donnelly's out and about doing her things at the moment. If you've heard of her, she's pretty amazing too, writing some really great songs about all sorts of things. So I mean, definitely check her out too. But she's making waves.
Incredible. So, what does the future hold for the Hunting Birds?
I mean, hopefully a lot more gigging and a lot more making of music. We're back in the studio in the next few weeks, laying down some tracks. So hopefully we'll be able to put those out soon. And I mean, I'm back in the States I think I'm back in there in May till the end of June, having a squizzle there. I'll be down in your hood in Chicago. I'll be down there towards the end of June. So let's go get a pizza, sure.
Oh, hit me up, man. Let's go get some pizza, dude. I would love to talk music. We can talk about our affinity for Carnival and Birds of Tokyo. So we can.
Yes, and Hanson, of course.
And yeah, obviously. I think we should just get matching Hanson tattoos. Actually, I'll get like Zach, and you can get Isaac on. We can get him on our butts or something.
That's it. And then we can find our third.
Yeah, we'll find
Taylor, right? Is that a third one?
Yes, I think that's it. Yeah,
nailed it.
That's yeah.
I think you know, surely.
Yeah, I was just playing along. Of course, I knew. I was. Come on, duh. Awesome stuff. Well, yeah, dude, I'm excited to hear some new stuff, because one of the big things that that bands are going through today is like a lot of them are deciding to do singles versus EPs or LPs. Like, how are you thinking about the strategy of releasing this new music you're writing? Have you put any thought into that?
Yeah, I mean, like we did singles for years. Like I think for the first 2.5 years it was all singles, and that worked for us. It's easy in Australia. I mean, it's hard to explain this. We've only got 5 cities in Australia, so like main cities to play in. Like there's 7 states, and they're really, really big. So we can only go around the country so many times. So it's easier to put out one song and then be able to tour that song than opposed to making a lot of music and then only able to tour that music once. So it's really about rationing than anything else. And plus, yeah, it's a very singles dominated life these days. I mean, EPs are cool, like that's always fun, but the best good part about singles is you can kind of change it up and it doesn't have to really suit any kind of mold. It can be whatever it needs to be. And I mean, I'm for either, you know, but I think singles are the way for us for the next little bit anyway. And, you know, we'll put out another EP soon.
Awesome. Well, I'm very, very excited for it. Where can people follow the Hunting Birds, on social media to keep up to date with these new releases, maybe concert dates, things like that?
For sure. I mean, you can check us out on Facebook, Instagram, however you do your social medias, and obviously, and even if you don't do social medias, we've got the website www.huntingbirds.com. So it's all pretty easy stuff. We've got all our dates and musics and videos and all sorts of fun stuff up on those things. So we're pretty active on the media. So yeah, if you want to give us a follow, if my ranting hasn't thrown you off, then absolutely come check us out.
Well, dude, I definitely have contributed to this ranting, so don't hold it against Connor and the Hunting Birds guys. This has been great stuff, though, man, dude. I think you guys you're onto something here. It's really fun music, and obviously, I'm a huge fan of this music video, as I've mentioned a couple times. So definitely go check it out. Naive Eyes by the Hunting Birds. Connor, thank you so much for coming on the show, man.
Thanks, mate.